You can make your website look more friendly and inviting if you just add a hat to your button or a starry effect or just any effect behind this. So you can see how nice it looks. So when you hover on the button, it makes the button bigger and also moves the hat a bit, making it look much more lively. And the second one, which is we can simply add a nice effect behind this like this. You could add anything like decorations, party poppers or something like that. So how about we just get started on how we can make this. So I'll link to this page in description. This is my website where you could find like lots of Elementor templates for free and also like lots of cool stuff. So you can just bookmark this website. You could see there are so many stuff around here, how to do stuff, and you could also bookmark it so that you can keep coming back, like sticky floating effects, stuff like this, and templates. So how about we just scroll down? And just a reminder that this requires Elementor Pro because we are going to use custom CSS. So if you don't have Elementor Pro, just go in the description and click the link to the Elementor Pro, and that way you could support me, or you could go to this website and click Elementor Pro, and that way you could support me by using my link. So let's go to our Elementor editor. I just added a container, you could see, with 100 VH and a black color. You don't have to do anything like this. I'm just doing this to showcase. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the button widget like this. Let's give it a color. So I'm going to use the same color. So let me just check what color I've used because I don't remember. And let me just copy it to my style tab and I'll make it have that pink color, same as that. I'll add a typography and then make it have some size. So let's say 22 for time being. It doesn't have to be accurate. And I'll just add some padding on, let's say 30 on right, 30 on top, 20 on top, or let's say 15 on top and 15 at bottom, like this. I'll give it some radius, so like 15, maybe 10, maybe just 5. And this is how our button looks right now. I might even extend it on left and right a bit, like this. What I'm going to do next is, rather than using rather than using this one, I'll use gradient. I'll use this color, and this is just for designing the button. You don't have to do this for having the hat and all. You don't need the same settings. I'm just making it look the same way as it was on my website. So I'll just make it like 95, like this. Make this 0. Maybe even go bigger, like this. 97. Copy this. Make it solid, 1 pixel, and this way. So now it looks like nicer. Looks much more cleaner and cool. So how about we get straight to the point now? So I'm simply going to go to my website, copy this code. You could see I clicked copied, or you could just drag and copy it. Let me just paste it in my notepad. And in this one, you could see I have added lots of comments. So you could see what it does and what it does not. So in this one, we have two stuff. So it is add image URL. So whichever hat you want, it doesn't even have to be an hat. It could be like anything like -25% or any image that you want. It doesn't have to be like just an hat image. You have to add an URL here, and this is for star, and we have to add an URL here. So let's say if I just copied my code and then pasted in this one, go into advanced, custom CSS and paste it, you could see nothing's happening except the hover effect. And so what we are going to simply do is we need to add a URL into this part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my media. So I'll just go from here. And then here you could see I have my stars. So let me just copy my star file URL like this. You could copy anything that you want. It doesn't have to be stars. You could do party decorations and stuff. And you could see I've written here CSS for adding background stars. So let's go in here and then copy it in my background URL. So let's just replace it right here. So if I now copy this code into my tutorial, so if I just copy it into this way in my custom CSS, you could see that when I hover on it, it is giving stars like this. And now the next one is the hat, and the hat I've gotten from this Flaticon website where it provides like free icons and stuff, lots of. I downloaded this one. You could see, so if you wish to download it, you could just get this one or use any one of them, and I upload it to my website, which is this one. I'm going to copy the file URL, and then and I'm going to paste it in the CSS for adding stars. If we go down, we can see hashtag add image URL, and I'm going to show you how we can simply like customize it to our personal requirement. So let me just first showcase by copying this, and you could see we already gotten our stuff ready. And all we simply did was added our image and added our image URL for the stars or whatever you want to use in the background. Let's say if you don't want to use the stars, you could simply just remove this one. So just remove this code and it will still work. So that way you don't have to have the stars in the background. So let's just customize and show you how this code works. So first is scale transition. So you can see that there's a scale effect happening to our button. When we hover on it, it takes 0.3 seconds to scale. So if you want it to be faster, you could make it 0.1, 0.2, or if you want it to be slower, you could make it for 1 second. So it takes like 1 second to scale up. Next is button scaling on hover. So this is how much scaling it is. So you could see I'll go to this point and I'll make this 1.2, 1.3, whichever size you want, you could make it. So I'll keep it 1.1. Next is our CSS for adding hat, and you could see this one has top, left, and the height and width. So if I can work with top and left value to see the position of my hat. So let me just reduce my top value, which is -33, which is you could see around here, and left. Let's just play around with it to find something better. So if I do -40, you could see it is going up like this. So just play around with values until you find something that works. So I'll keep it 35, and this is now left. So you could see if by default it is around here. So if I do, let's say -50, it goes too much, -40, -35, -25, let's do 28, and this is where we have added our button right now, which is like closer to what I've used already. Then we have height and width. So I've set it to 50 pixel by 50 pixel. So let's say if I made the height to 80, and you could see it just messes it up because right now it is not in the same size. It is stretching it to make it better. So if I do 60 by 60, you could see it is actually stretching it like this. It is making the hat bigger and bigger. And once you do all that, you will need to still play around with values to find something that works nicely. So 6, 5, 4, 48 looks good. And then let's do, let's say 45, 55. And now we got a bigger hat like this. Looks ugly right now, so make sure you make it work nicely. Next is our rotate. So how much rotation you want to that stuff. So if I keep it 0, this is how the image looks. So if I do -35, -85, -65, you could just see, play around with the rotation values to have like personal design. Next is on hover. So when we hover on it, it needs to move a bit. So right now it will go from -40 to, let's say I do -90, and you could see this is what it's doing. So just do some slight value adjustment rather than doing like a big value adjustment to give it like a nice look. Right now it does not look good because I'm just showing you the code. So make sure you play around with the values to find something. So that was all for the hat, but now let's do for background stars. Now if we go around here, you could see we have two height and width, which is like global class that I've added, global code that I've added. So you can see the background image is 250 by 250. So how about we make it bigger? So if I do 350, 550, you could say it's not actually working because the image itself is not that big. So again, the code was not completely full, which is why it wasn't stretching. So I just added a background size cover. You don't have to worry about this. I will update the code in my website. But basically this one didn't have background size cover, so it was not stretching to the size. So you could now make it to however size you want. So if you want 550 by 550, you could do that. You could make 350 by 350, which is like that size that I've used, or 300 by 300. So now it doesn't matter if you want to like change the size. I've just added background cover, so now it will stretch the image to that size. Next, you don't need to worry about this stuff, not height, width, nothing. I've already shown that you could change the background image URL. This is all, and there's the scale transition. So it takes 0.3 seconds to scale like this. So if you want to make it slower, you could make it like 1 second. It will take 1 second to scale. stuff like this, or make it slower or make it faster by changing the 0.3 to 0.2 or 0.1 something. So it just shows that how much seconds it will take to scale. So we have scale 0 by default, which is like it has 0 scale, and on hover it stretches like this. Z index we have added touch action and pointer event none. Basically, if you don't add this, what would happen is, if I, let's say, remove that too. So if I remove this too, you could see that even though my cursor is outside this button, it is not going down, because it is still considering this image as an object where you could hover on it to keep it on this state, on the hover state. You could see. So if I just add this, it just does not make it like interactable, so it just goes down. And then this is the selector hover scale. So how much scale you want for this background image to do. So if I do 1.5, it will scale to 1.5. So it will go from 0 to 1.5, stuff like this. So I'll just keep it 1, but you could make it like to your required size like this. So now we got this button ready. It looks pretty nice and just works with everything. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want anything more, just leave a comment, like and share, subscribe and do all those stuff. That way it helps me to create more videos like this. So yeah, thank you.